Should I start presenting? Yeah. If you allow, I present and I'll start from our speakers on site, because we have their speakers on site here in Yekaterinburg, heart of Russia, Ural Federal University. And also then I will present our online speakers, and then we start. Starting from the ladies, Dr. Natalia Evtihieva, the General Director of Russian Association of Business Education. Here is she. Dr. Rajesh Verma, Professor, Dean, Mittal School of Business, lovely professional university from India. I will present the host, the Dean of URFU as the last. And we also have online speakers, and I happily present Dr. Saad Laraki, our double degree partner, Director of Research, ESCA Business School, Morocco. I would like to present Marat Ismagulov, HR Director at Alpha Bank Moscow, our strategic partner. Kanjuan Liu, Doctor Professor, Dean of Silk Business School, Shanghai University, China. Dr. Rakesh Mon-Yoshi, Professor, Vice Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, India. Here, you can wave. And also Dr. Sumaya Askri, Advanced Digital Marketing Expert, Canadian University in Dubai. Hello, Dr. Sumaya. We all see you. And of course, I think I have presented everyone and I haven't forgotten about any participants. We have some who are striving through the traffic jams because we have a lot of snow, as you have seen. So I would like to give a floor for welcome note to the Director of Graduate School of Economics and Management and Director of Campus here at Ural Federal University, Dmitry Tolmachov. Dmitry, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Жанна. Hello, dear.
Итак, здравствуйте, коллеги.
I'm really happy to welcome you in our new campus and in our the most important annual conference focused on economics and business education for the whole university. So today we have the day focused on business education, and tomorrow the day focused on economics. What would happen in Russian economy? So I'm proud that that is the second time the conference take place here in the new campus that is 80% ready. So this first building, the educational, the study building, yes, dormitories, infrastructure, etc. But in 1 year, at the end of 2025, 3 new buildings will be done. So the first one of our school, Graduate School of Economics and Management. The second one, the IT, Informational Technology School, and the Lyceum. So I hope in 1 year, in 2 years, we will welcome also students and faculty from your schools here, dear colleagues. So I would like to wish you a fruitful walk. Yes, let's start.
Thank you very much, Dmitry. Well, I actually see that Dr. Liu Kanjuan joined us from Shanghai Silk Business School. Hello, Professor Liu. And I guess that this beautiful new campus is a good floor to train digital and sustainable skills, both for students and also for professionals in the field and businesses. So the stakes are high. We need to bring up AI, sustainability to mitigate our risks. And that is why we actually have ESG on everywhere. This is a green campus, actually, if you mentioned that. And looking at the stakes in the global research and education market, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Natalia Yevtikheva for welcome note. And Natalia, please tell us how the Russian business education landscape is looking now in the world of uncertainty.
Thank you so much, Жанна. First of all, I would like to congratulate you with this new campus. That's happened that the last year we had the conference at the main building, and when you moved here for the second day, I left. And for me, it's the first time when I hear, and the most convenient thing that it is quite close to the airport, international airport, because I just landed half an hour. Landed, and now I am here in time for the beginning of the plenary session. On behalf of the Russian Association of Business Education and the National Accreditation Council of Business and Management Education, where I am the Director General, of course, let me welcome the conference participants, all the experts, international experts. Thank you so much, dear colleagues, and all the students here, and the experts from Russia and from other countries. Every year in November, for how many years? 5, 6, 9.
So next year it will be 20.
I'm sorry. So each November, 20 years, in this one place, we gather together the people and the experts who are worrying about the business education, about the economics in Russia and all around the world. And of course, I want to thank, first of all, the RABA member of Ural State Federal University, and board member Dmitry, who welcome us here and who gathers us here each year, and for his initiative and very active and in organization of this important event. I want just to say a few words, because the main speech will be made by Dmitry. We discussed it, to make some introduction for what had happened during this last year. And let me, okay. We can say about the Russian business education that we are younger than 40 years. So we're just about 36 years, because the first business schools in Russia was established in 1988. And in 1990, our association was created, in RABA, Russian Association of Business Education, which now unites the most developed, the most important business schools all over the Russia and Belarus as well. And we have now about 80 serious business schools, which provide all the levels of business education, from bachelor to DBA programs, DBA, and there's the programs of Doctor of Business Administration, and of course PhD. Till the 2022, we had quite a good quantity of business schools accredited by the international borders. The international borders, we have a level which is called Triple Crown accreditation, which consists of the 3 main important business associations all over the world. That means AACSB from America, EFMD from Europe, and AMBA from Britain. And for the moment, we had 13 Russian programs accredited by AMBA. We had 3 business schools accredited by AACSB and EFMD. And we also have 1 business school in Russia which got the Triple Crown accreditation in 2021. Since the February 2022, all those accreditations were dormant. No, it was not postponed. It's dormant. Yes, dormant. It's that word which they use. Dormant status. It means that they are в спящем режиме. Перевести на русский язык, в спящем режиме, да? And does it mean that all those schools after this dormant status became worse and less. And no, it doesn't mean. The quality of the programs of these leading business schools are very high, and it's improved by the procedure of this accreditation. And they've got this accreditation. That means that they are on the equal level with the international leaders in the business accreditation. And in 2022, 3 business schools re-entered the rating in Financial Times with a higher position. It means that our business schools in Russia, not too much, but we have them. They are on the international level of quality. And if they dormant us from all the accreditations and from all the rankings, what should we do at the moment? And we decided to what was at the beginning. Куда направлять? Подскажите мне, пожалуйста. Куда направлять? Туда? Предыдущий слайд покажите мне, пожалуйста. Просто не... Ага. We decided to create the Russian national independent accreditation and ranking system with the potential of exporting educational sovereign to the multipolar world. Ну, не работает он. Ну, не тянет отсюда. Отлично. Yes, and the leading business school decided and have an urgent need to unite and create this national accreditation system. And those business schools from the accredited level, they united. Давайте, ребят, переключайте, переключите, я не дотягиваю, не надо, давайте, это все Дмитрий расскажет, прокручивайте. Еще. Все, да? Ага, ну хорошо тогда. They decided to make this national accreditation, and Dmitry will tell about it. And we hope that the leading business schools will understand the necessity of this important and very, very necessary task for us. Yes, and we hope also we will have the support of the Ural region as well. And I wish the participants of the conference successful and productive work.
Thank you very much, Natalia. Thank you very much for introduction and welcome words. Indeed, and especially I have to mention that, well, what we understand as a business school in Russia, it's a little bit different from what some of you understand as a business school in the West, in the East, and in BRICS Plus. So we basically include also bachelor programs into their business schools curriculum. And in that case, we have a number of universities and business schools having international accreditations, just like our EFIMD accreditations here in Ural Federal University and also in High School of Economics and some other venues. So that means that the quality is internationally ranked and assessed. And for us here in Graduate School of Economics and Management, it was a sign of walking the talk and introducing the quality understanding, shaping our curriculums, and of course, including the latest trends in sustainability, later on in including artificial intelligence in shaping our curriculums. And we are still puzzled. You know, a lot of universities actually allow using ChatGPT to master the programs. And some of them thinking of replacing teachers at university with AI assistants. Well, we were discussing earlier today in GSM pitch that also AI would be calculating salaries at universities and beyond in business. And as well, you know, MIT researchers actually uncovered that workers who used ChatGPT and other networks are more efficient than those who don't. And the difference was 37%. So that's a lot. But some plagiarism detection programs, for example, they are hallucinating and they're not giving the right result. So it's very easy to get a wrong result. So can we trust AI? Can we introduce it in our partner relations, in our educational development, and whether it actually speed up our curiosity or kills ethics and curiosity at all? So what is the shape of research tomorrow? And I would like to address this question to our distinguished partner, double degree partner from African continent, so Dr. Saatla Raki. So what are the formats of integrating AI into mechanics of business education should be accepted? How to build the ecosystem using AI? Saad, the floor is yours. Just switch on the microphone. You are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know that we are spread all over the world. Esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, and out leaders, it's a privilege to be here representing ESCA École de Management in Casablanca, where I serve as the Associate Dean of Research. Our mission at ESCA has always been to prepare our students for a complex and interconnected world. And today, this means embracing the profound impact of AI in education and the broader business landscape. AI is fundamentally reshaping business education globally. And at ESCA, we are at the forefront of this transformation. We view AI not only as a tool to improve efficiency, but as a means to make education more inclusive, adaptive, and ethically grounded. Today, I would like to share some key ways we are integrating AI into our programs, as well as shaping our future operational framework. One of the first areas where AI is making an impact at ESCA, École de Management, is in personalized learning. By tailoring content and learning path to each student, AI will soon allow us to offer a more individualized experience that aligns with diverse learning needs. Using adaptive learning technologies, we will monitor and respond to student progress in real time, ensuring that each student remains engaged and supported. Beyond personalized learning, AI is also revolutionizing our administrative processes. ESCA is engaged in integrating AI-driven solutions to streamline operations, from admissions to course scheduling and student support. This will not only reduce administrative burdens, but will also allow us to expand our reach while maintaining high educational standards. For instance, AI-based systems manage repetitive tasks so our faculty and staff can focus on student mentorship and curriculum innovations. As an African institution in a diverse and rapidly evolving market, we recognize the importance of making education accessible to all. AI is a powerful tool to bridge gaps, especially in sub-Saharan and North African region, where resources are limited. Through AI-driven simulations and region-specific case studies, we will be preparing students not only for the global market, but also with skills applicable in their local environments. This focus on local relevance is key to ensuring that our students can thrive in any context. At ESCA Eco Management, we aim to leverage AI to innovate our curriculum. Generative AI tools will soon allow us to integrate real-time scenarios and predictive models into our courses, giving students practical experience with cutting-edge technology. For example, we are exploring simulations and immersive learning modules that provide students with insights into complex business situations. This hands-on approach ensures that our graduates are prepared to lead in an AI-driven business world. Preparing students for a world where AI is pervasive requires more than technical skills. At ESCA, we emphasize the importance of human-centered skills, such as empathy, ethical decision-making, and critical thinking. In our view, business leaders of the future must be able to navigate not only technological challenges, but also the ethical implication of AI. We are committed to instilling a mindset that values both innovation and integrity. However, we know that AI comes with risks: data privacy, algorithmic biases, and the need to maintain academic integrity. ESCA takes these challenges seriously. We are in the process of implementing policies to protect students' data and regularly assessing our AI tools to avoid any biases that might undermine the principles of fairness and equity in education. We aim to be a model for ethical AI integration in business education, but we are very conscious that it is work in progress that may last forever. Our vision is to use AI to augment, not replace, really insist, not replace the human elements of education. At ESCA, we are creating human-centered, inclusive, and collaborative environments where AI supports and enhances our educational mission. We believe that with a clear purpose and a focus on ethics, AI can empower us to fulfill our mission to shape leaders who are not only tech-savvy, but also ethically responsible. My closing thoughts are that at ESCA Eco Management, we are fully committed to leading the transformation of business education in Morocco and beyond by integrating AI thoughtfully and ethically. We are preparing our students to become the adaptable, purpose-driven leaders the world needs. Thank you for this opportunity to share ESCA's vision, and I look forward to continuing this journey with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, dear sir. These applauses are for you. And actually, I pretty much like the human-centered AI approach because it actually gives us the way how we can cooperate by means of AI instead of just using it for as a tool which would replace humans and researchers. And a lot of Russian universities already co-created a code of ethics for using AI, and also allowing students to solve some tasks. And of course, we have to say that it's not going smoothly so far. A lot of students, a lot of professors are using AI just as a tool which might bring our extinction, actually. And that is why, dear colleagues, we have a little survey going on in our international translation in Russian and English, and I ask my colleagues to bring up QR code. Please scan it and vote. There are just a few questions about usage and disruption, or vice versa, for AI. And by the end of our plenary session, we will have the results, and also we will compare them with their last year session. So we will see what has changed within last year. So interesting fact, for example, here at Ural Federal University, we also managed to include at least 2 semesters of digital literacy for all professions, for all directions. You don't need to be in IT or in economics or management, but other directions of study as well, to study all the digital skills, starting from Python to digital marketing and others. And we think that this is our responsibility to prepare graduates who are ready for tomorrow's market, to work with tomorrow. We still have these digital skills. We train and we allow students and professors from different countries to exchange experience, to go on semester abroad. And also, a lot of Russian and international skills continue to watch their sustainability reports and being on track with ESG factors as a risk mitigation factors. So that means that despite the moment when not all international Western accreditation systems are working for us at the moment, we seem to be on this quality education path. And in fact, we are balancing between the Western and Eastern standards for quality education. And we are also thinking on how to create some system of quality for our employers as well, for Russian national and global market, using some visible metrics. And that is why I would like to give floor to Dmitry Tolmachov, our dean, to shed the light on the new metrics developed in Russia to measure business school success. Dmitry,
Yes,
the floor
thank
is
you,
yours.
Жанна. Okay, please launch my. See. Okay, so dear colleagues, I will continue the. Just 1 second. Yes, I'll continue the theme that started Natalia. So, yes, at first, here you can see the field of Russian, not Russian, but CIS business schools, which had a deliberated strategy of internationalization. At least those who are violet and violet, yes, I'm sure. So I talk about three or four, maybe, okay, 35 schools. Among them, almost 30 are Russian, and others are from Kazakhstan. For example, 2 really good schools from Kazakhstan, the KIMEP in Almaty and Nazarbayev University School, and some others, Belarus also, Azerbaijan, etc. But the most part are Russian. You can see on the X, Y, the level of international cooperation, international partnership of these schools. So the top is the international accreditation by FMD or by ACSB. So EQUIS or ACSB accreditation, that is the top. And on the X you can see the publication activity, but so we talk only about the papers published in A+, A, B, according to ABDC, so only in economics and management and the good ones. It's the logarithmical scale because High School of Economics, in other case, it would be very far on the right side. Okay, so you can see that some of schools were and are really good in research. If you talk about published papers in economics and management, some schools were really good in alliances, accreditations, double degrees, etc., etc. Some were good in both. The top 3 stars were Skolkovo, IBS Ranepa, and the Graduate School of Management of St. Petersburg, as Natalia said. Some, like, for example, our school, you can see GSM Urfu. So we were near this point because we have we continue we have the permission to use our accreditation by it was FMD accreditation for 5 years, the first one in Russia, and we have the right to use it. It's not dormant till 2026, but nevertheless in 2027 it will finish. So all those schools, they had the deliberated strategy of internationalization. All of them, especially the best ones, they crashed into a concrete wall in 2022. If you talk about the old strategy. And that was the reason why in April 2024, 15 leading business schools agreed to launch a new business education ranking, and not only ranking, as Natalia said, but the system that could solve some very important questions, problems, not only for Russian business schools, but also for our partners, because our partnership network in Asia, in Africa, in a lot of countries is really wide. Okay. Okay, now a brief understanding of the international and Russian landscape of rankings. So we have some rankings focused on university, on some subject rankings. So QS, Times Higher Education, Shanghai ranking, in Russia, RAEX. However, they're not about business schools. They are mostly about subjects. Then very often these subjects are divided between different schools in the university. For example, Moscow State University, they have the Faculty of Economics and Business School, and the subject is the same for both, etc. In our university, so GSM, so we concentrate all these activities and in business education, economy, etc. But in St. Petersburg State University, in a lot of universities, these subjects are divided. And the specific rankings that are focused on business schools. Financial Times, EduUniversal, US News Best Business Schools, Bloomberg, and two ranking, no, not especially rankings, two national rankings. Okay, so I will not talk about these rankings because they are not so relevant for business schools. I will pass to EduUniversal. EduUniversal is a very good initiative. We continue to Russian business school to participate there, but that is not the most strong between the international ratings. Okay, US News and Bloomberg, they're very reputationally very strong. However, it's not about Europe and Russia. It is mostly focused on US, and it's a very far. It was a very far goal. And Financial Times. So it was the aim for the best Russian business schools. And this goal was completed by Graduate School of Management, by Skolkovo, by IBS Ronepa. So as you know, maybe Financial Times, they issue 1, 2, 3, 8, I think, rankings that are focused on specific programs, so MBA, online MBA, executive MBA, etc. And also they produce, Financial Times produce the comprehensive ranking. That is so the sum of rankings mentioned above. So I will not talk about the indicators because these criteria, they are very important, but nevertheless, I will try to yes, okay. And now some words about Russian business school rankings. So we have a very good ranking, national ranking, people's rating of Russian business schools. However, this ranking, yes, it's very simple, only 4 criteria. It is based only on survey. So it doesn't pay attention to, for example, research or internationalization or intercultural things, etc., that are, I think, important. Not so important that income growth, career growth, etc., but nevertheless. So it's a good product, a good ranking, but it has no perspectives for become the international ranking. And the second one, so it's the media expert. I am also affiliated with it, but it's not a ranking. It's a map that I have shown. It was my first slide. So it was just from this project. It is about some analytic information about CIS business schools. Okay, now let's pass to the new ranking. So the target audience is applicants. It's understandable. Business schools, but not only in Russia, also from other countries, and of course, companies and public sector. The goals are to provide applicants with reliable information, to encourage business schools to improve the quality of programs, to boost the cooperation between business schools, Russian and also international, and of course, to provide a reliable platform for benchmarking. That is the central idea. So we agreed that we will rank. So at first, the difference between ranking and rating is very, so it's not clear sometimes. So here we use the approach that the ranking doesn't pretend to be comprehensive. The rating is pretending, but of course it's not, for example, the accreditation that is a very profound, very deep analysis of a school. So it will be the ranking of the scale of rankings of Russian and international business schools, and the rating of MBA programs also by Russian or international business schools. The entry criteria would be not so strong as for Financial Times, but nevertheless, it would be the accreditation of National Accreditation Council and or the first level accreditation of ACA, ASSB, FMD, or AMBA. Yes, so about the indicators, I will omit it. So the cycle would start in 2025. We expect it, yes, and I hope that in some 2025 we could. So I hope, yes, we would present the first national ranking of business schools and the rating of MBA programs. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dmitry. That's a very comprehensive description of our new ranking system. So we cordially invite all the business school. I also think that what would be the mechanics behind, maybe we will ask AI assistant helping us to select business schools and also seeing their AI tools used in business schools as one of the criteria. Because when all their international rankings started, they first only were asking about the quality of graduates and they were asking business partners. Then they included sustainability as one of the criteria also for mitigating the risks of preparing professionals for global market. And then their latest development was to see how AI is used in education, how effectively what actually Saad mentioned and also Dmitry and Natalia in the beginning of the speech. So, and also another interesting fact that in 2023, companies using AI in employee training reported productivity growth up to 30%. And according to another international study, McKinsey study, their demand for specialists with AI intelligent skills trained by business school will grow up to 60%. So the landscape of business schools might be changing, but we also have to make a lot to shape their best business schools toward the future skills. And I would like to address my question to our strategic partner, to HR Director of Alpha Bank, Marat Ismagulov. So, Marat, what do you think from business perspective? Will AI revolutionize the development of the real sector of economy? And are we expecting a full-fledged replacement?
Hi, everyone. My name is Marat. I represent Alpha Bank, and Alpha Bank is pretty well known on the Russian market, but for our foreign colleagues, I will just make a brief introduction. Alpha is the largest privately owned bank in Russia, and actually it's top 3 banks in the banking financial system in Russia, and we account for roughly 10% of the market share. So we're a pretty large bank. In terms of the question, will and how will AI revolutionize the development of the real sector, and what will AI? There is a cliche question: will AI replace people, workers in the real sector? Well, obviously, you all know just as well as I do that our society has passed through numerous industrial revolutions, and one of the last industrial revolutions was the invention and development of the internet. And right now, what's happening in the AI field, I think it's a bit too early to say whether it's a full-blown industrial revolution, but obviously there are signs of that. And one of the signs is how rapidly AI technologies are developing right now in the real sector, in the education. And for example, if you compare such technology as internet and AI, AI made a journey in 2 years which is comparable to what internet made, to the journey that internet made in 15, 20 years. So the rate of the development of the technology is actually remarkable. But before we talk about whether AI would replace or not replace anybody, let's talk about what AI really is. And actually, the algorithms which lie at the base of AI, they're not that much different from algorithms which we had like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But what has really changed is the computing power. And this is actually the game changer is the computing power, not algorithms, which not as much as algorithms. And I like this example that, for example, such Bank of America. Now it's called Bank of America Merrill Lynch. And in 40 years ago, in 1986, the whole computing power of the whole Bank of America back then is now can actually fit into your iPhone, and which is remarkable, which just shows the rate of acceleration. And the rate of acceleration of the computing power in terms of AI and large language models, for example, only maybe like 5 years ago, such computing power can only governments could afford that. Now, 2-3 years ago, large corporations could afford that. And for example, Alpha Bank is a large corporation, and we're one of the main players in terms of introducing and implementing AI into the financial technology. So in terms of how will it affect the workforce, I really don't think that implementing AI would enable us to fire people. But it would enable us to hire less people, actually. I would like to present two real cases, which we have right now in Alpha Bank. Case number one, our coders, our programmers, they use AI and large language models to proofread their code. And only a couple of years ago, it took several staff units for the whole programming team to proofread their codes, for example. Right now, AI could do it pretty effectively. Case number two, any technology company right now, they have mobile apps, and they have mobile apps for iOS systems and Android systems. And usually, in order to develop, the same application, you have two separate teams, which essentially do the same thing. iOS team codes for iOS, and Android team codes for Android. So right now, what we're able to do is, for example, an iOS team, developers team, they can create a code for a certain application, and then using large language models, translate the iOS code into the Android code. And that actually saves a lot of time. And AI is not, about replacing anybody. It's about being a co-pilot, actually, and it's about productivity. And it looks like it can be a really big game changer. We'll have to just live and see. But are we at the verge of the new industrial revolution? Maybe we'll just see in a couple of years at the rate of the development.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your insights, Marat. Well, it's quite interesting. So what should higher education institutions do? Because, we have concurred to their IT today because we are broadcasting in Russian and English, and we also have online and offline speakers. I have used AI to prepare for this plenary talk, I have to confess, and I think all the speakers have done that as well. So that actually is a very cozy task here. So I address my question as well. So in your perspective, because you're partnering, of course, with lots of higher education institutions and business schools in Russia, so what should higher education do? Have we lost our chance to be on top of the world to educate people? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Didn't notice how I pressed the button. Yeah, Jana, thank you for the question. Actually, I think I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's a well-known fact that the adoption of new technology is happening at a much higher pace in the real sector than in terms of higher education. And it's not just the specifics of the Russian market or the European market. You know, I've been studying in US, in Europe, in Russia, and it's just the way it is. You know, business is also always chasing productivity, so they're more eager to adopt new technology much faster. So in terms of what should universities do, and I think the main secret is the effective industrial partnerships. And there are a lot of companies which just whine that, you know, oh, the universities cannot provide us with the you know, the quality of graduates that we need. We don't believe in whining. You know, if you're not satisfied with something, you know, do something about it. And this is why, for example, Alpha Bank, we have a program which we call 300 universities. And Alpha Bank is a large bank. We span across Russia, Russian Federation. And this program is meant to build industrial partnerships with all the federal and regional universities in terms of the business realm, which we cover in Russian Federation. And we already have very good cases, you know, of successful industrial partnership programs with our partner universities. And actually, I'm pleased to announce that soon we will launch a master's program with the Urals Federal University in financial technology. And, you know, this is the best way for the business, for the industry to transfer knowledge and know-how to faculty and students, is to effectively collaborate in terms of creating good programs. And I think this is maybe not the only secret, but one of the main secrets in terms of for the universities and higher education institutions to stay on top of the technology, is to collaborate with those who implement it faster and you know, create productive partnerships.
Thank you very much. Well, and yes, by the way, we're looking forward to our new co-working space, which is going to be opened in December in Ural Federal University. But still, I actually will ask one more simple, not simple, but a small question. So, but do you actually yourself think that people still need a diploma, a higher education diploma? Do we need to master skills in business schools?
That's a good question. You know, the first time when I came to Alpha Bank 6 years ago, one of the first things I did is to cancel the requirement for higher education diploma for programmers and those who code. The reason I did it is because there is no definite correlation between the quality of the code a person can produce and you know, the diploma that the person has. But obviously, you know, in terms of programming and coding, you know, that's one case. But obviously, there are a lot of professions which require higher education diploma, and I think that higher education is essential for more or less every human being who wants to prosper in our modern world. Because, in my opinion, higher education is what the most value the higher education diploma and higher education itself brings to a person is by providing a person with fundamental knowledge and fundamental knowledge base, which helps the person to acquire certain soft skills. For example, learn how to learn how to use cross-industrial knowledge and cross-disciplinary knowledge in terms of problem solving in itself. And if you just want to be an all-around educated person, you know, you need to a university degree. So yes, in my opinion, in order to be you know, prosperous and have a good career, you have to have a good education. You have to have a good diploma, preferably. But you know, this is not the only requirement for successful careers. So once again, in collaboration, universities and employees and industrial partners, you know, that's the best way to you know, to approach the overall development of a human being and, you know, of a future professional, faculty, or staff.
Thank you very much. It's indeed pleasant to hear that we are still required. And of course,
Yes,
we
definitely.
we see our task as well as training students not only with cross-cutting technologies, but also how to learn and how to build their future career. And that is why we are indeed including our corporate partners in our curriculum and asking what you guys in companies really need and how you help us. Thank you very much, Marat. And by the way, I might tell you again that we have this little survey, and dear colleagues, if you could show QR code for those who haven't voted yet. That's the last time that we are showing this. And we will have the results which show us boosters and anti-boosters for AI use, and we will see whether we are moving as fast as AI developments or not. But on the other hand, despite all the AI fears and hopes, a lot of business schools are still launching new programs. I think Harvard Research published that last year there were around 500 new programs in business analytics and also in data science applied to management, to economics, even to theater, even to other creative industries. They launched these programs because AI is needed as a skills. And of course, it's not only the diploma that you are getting in university, you are getting your network, you are getting to know what is your sport. And on the other hand, we know that there are still lots of digital inequality in the world and other types of inequality. So I would like to pass the word to our next distinguished speaker, Dr. Verma. What infrastructure is needed on campuses to reduce digital and economic inequality? Dear Rajesh, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can I have my presentation also on? And thank you for having me here and asking me this very pertinent question. I think in this digital world, probably data is the new air. The way we need to survive, I think data is something now which is being taken as something which we need to have for survival. And I think, let me just start with quoting President Putin. I think you must be knowing that in a plenary session in Valdai Discussion Club in Sochi, Russia, right? On Thursday, he said India should be added to the superpowers. And I think I am from that country, which probably is now known as fifth largest economy in the globe. And probably by 2030, we would be known as third largest economy of the world, right? With the pace which we are growing at. And in terms of digital powers, probably we would already be somewhere in a third, though there are different matrices to measure, as Dimitri has already said, in this case also probably, but then we still would say that probably we are in the top 3 in digital. But then if I look at the statistics, which would still say that India, we would have 55% to 60% kind of penetration in terms of internet. Which probably would mean that, will this work? No.
That's right.
This seems to be a PDF, but I think you can, yeah, so you can keep it here. So I think 55% to 60% is the penetration, which exactly means that 45% are the kind of people who still don't have access to these kind of things which we are talking of, right? So if I assume my hand to be technology-oriented palm tech, and if I ask him a question, how many people sitting in this room have a smartphone? And it says 100%. Is it right? And I ask a further question, how many of them have an access to internet? So it says 100%. I think that's also right? But that's how we perceive the world. So it seems like if I have something, the entire world probably would have the same kind of infrastructure and same things to be taken at, right? So, but then everyone doesn't have that equal access to digital. And the people who don't have access to the digital infrastructure probably would lag behind. So in terms of the opportunities they would get, in terms of education they would get, so probably we would lack in those. So I'll give you a few, please change the slide. So can you just change the slide? Yeah, so that's what probably I think everyone sitting in this room understands. Digital divide, probably it's more to do with economics and social inequality, because of that only probably people don't have access to or use of or impact of information and communication technology. So it is actually the entire world, if we look at from many years, we have been talking about a lot of inequalities, right? Though the new word has been added as digital inequality. But probably if the previous inequalities have been removed, we would not have had this word. So probably this is a new word which has emerged because of all the other inequalities which we would have. So it is largely to do with the excess of because of the socioeconomic reasons, right? So in some countries you would have more access, in some countries you would have less access, some students would have more geographical differences, right? Unequal access to 4G, 5G. A lot of countries struggling with the 5G, though they have been speaking about it, but still struggling with 4G. Unequal access to the computers, to mobile phones, digital literacy. COVID gave it a push. Earlier, we thought that only face-to-face interactions were effective, but then the 2 years of COVID probably gave us a fact check that no, you can also teach through the online mediums, right? And you can have the same effectiveness, if not less. So that's what probably the digital divide would mean. And please change the slide. And if I understand, these are the fault lines, right? Typical fault lines which we would see, right? So geographical locations. So if I have just to give a brief onto that, developed and developing nations, right? So if I look at 93% kind of developed nations would have the digital access, but then in case of developing nation, only 27% kind of penetration rate would be there. So you can see the wide gap between that. Income-wise, income fault line, if we see, you might stay in a G7 country, have gigabyte fiber kind of layout for your entire country, but then still if you can't afford it, there's a challenge, right? And you can see the cost of data. Data probably is being used for a lot of things which we are talking of. And the cost of data in most of the countries is very, very high, though it is known to be cheapest in India, in some other countries too. But then in most of the countries, and just to give you a reference, in India, most of the people grow up with a lot of lack of resources and others, and based upon that, probably our innovation skills and innovative skills and creativity are much, much higher. That's what we assume to be, right? And just to give you a reference to it, we Chandrayaan 3, which landed on South Pole of the Moon, we were the first country in 2023 to do that. And the cost of doing that was probably less than making a Hollywood movie. So that's the cost. So that's the part. So even the data is very, very low cost in India. Gender, again, if you go by the PricewaterhouseCoopers data, it says 70% of the males would use more internet, 65% females. So that's again a gender gap. Age gap, 70% of 1% of the usage is by the age group of 15 to 24. Right. So that's again, you would have the other ages, which probably would have 57% of the access as of now. Ethnicity, yes, probably in most of the countries, you will find indigenous communities, if they are there, probably because of the regional challenges, the communication challenges, and the other challenges, they would be the last one to actually have access to all these facilities, right? So all these infrastructure and everything. Physical abilities, all of you, I probably understand. Then education, the last one. And I'm thankful to Marat, Alpha Bank, probably to bringing it up that education is the one probably where the institutions are not designed or as of now are not equipped to actually prepare the talent for 21st century. Right, so that's an underlying statement, and probably when he said that, which is a fearful statement, when he said that probably he removed the requirement of a diploma for a coder's job, right? So that's one thing which should worry us. But then, where would the students learn those coding skills? And so it's not universities probably. Now they can learn it from anywhere, right? So that's what probably the digital access and skills would mean for us. So last component, probably the seventh fault line, which I'm talking of, is one of the most important dimension for all of us to think about it, right? Because all other fault lines probably would also be taken care if we can probably think on it from the perspective of education. So I am from Mittal School of Business, lovely professional university in India. And just for mentioning it here as a case here, what we did was we tied up with a lot of corporates. Right? For example, we are offering a business analytics specialization in tie-up with IBM, right? So because as Marat also said, that probably the real sectors are having more usage of technology than the education, right? So how do I do then how do I upgrade myself, right? So that's one way that I bring in the corporates, so who come up with those skills and infrastructure which probably is required to actually train people in this in this domain. So quickly, if I can you please go ahead? So I'll not like to talk about it, but everybody knows that it means an access to everyone, right? So if you example, you can see here is the payment system, which is very, very popular, and you can buy the vegetables, anything which you probably need can probably be done. So that's the digital inclusion where in India, everyone, those who have an internet access can make payments through this, right? So that's the kind of inclusion required. Can you please change over? So that digital exclusion would actually mean affordable, high-speed internet services. So universities need to invest a lot in this. And I may not be talking about the universities probably where we are discussing it. They must have already been innovating a lot on this, but look at the larger part of the world. And when I was talking about the developing nations, you would have universities probably where they would not even started with the basic infrastructure, forget about removing the digital divide kind of things which we are talking of. So accessible connected devices, IT digital training, and quality technical support, online content that encourages independent use of digital platforms. So a lot of work has to be done on this. And the basic infrastructure, can you move ahead? I'll ignore this because I think I've already talked about equity and inclusion. So this is the target which we probably are looking at. And then probably move ahead. So that's the just a reference point here. For example, in a country A, where internet access and digital infrastructure are already well established, right? So equitable.
And we have a little of talk from Morocco. If you guys can switch off the microphone.
Merci beaucoup.
So I think that was also a reminder that I should be little, and I've already crossed my time. So the equitable solution might involve providing students with personal devices and customized online resources. But on the other hand, for the countries where we don't have infrastructure also, then giving them devices would not suffice. So equitable solution would probably be to think about investing in community internet cafes, right? So that's how where the government also need to think about it. The universities also need to think about it. Can you change this slide? And this is, I'll not talk about it much, but then if you look at building capacity, the center part, so governance is required, a lot of resources is required, building capacity. When the entire, I think student community is already using ChatGPT, teachers are still debating that whether we should allow it or not. So that's the kind of building capacity for teachers also is required, right? So it's not about training students, it's also about digital upgradation of the faculty. So this governance structure which is present here, which is presented here, that we need school level interventions, we need monitoring and evaluation systems. This is the infrastructure which I would like to highlight and focus upon, because ultimately Internet of Things, fiber cables, computers, labs, probably most of us know, and most of us now probably are making an investment into that kind of technology. But for me, this governance structure is more as an infrastructure required to actually bring everyone on the same platform. So rather than these hard drives and everything, probably if we work on this structure, governance, resourcing, building capacity, school level interventions, and monitoring and evaluations, probably would give us better results. So can you change over? So this probably is the last one, and I think this just covers whatever I've spoken about. So a lot of reliable network required. We keep on saying about it, but then if it keeps on going on and off, we would still not be able to make the impact. Last mile connectivity is required. Sometimes we might say it, but it doesn't reach the person which it has to reach. Provide 5G for campuses. I said a lot of companies are still struggling. A lot of campuses are still struggling with 4G and the previous generation network. So, but then why do we need these kind of infrastructure? Because if you have to make the learning experiences of the people better, then probably the network has to be the best. And we need to talk about a lot about immersive learning technologies. And for that, the kind of infrastructure we are talking about is required, right? So I think I made my quick point. And just to conclude, the question was related to infrastructure, but then I thought that probably the companies which actually are into digital, right, they are already making, I'll not say it as a propaganda, but you will feel like that probably we will not be able to survive without AI, right? So they've already made their point that we need the technology. So we don't have to worry about that we don't need technology or we need technology. So there's a question is taken that we need technology. But how do we actually do it? So that's the framework, that's the infrastructure I just highlighted upon, right? So thank you very much. And I'm sure if we have any further questions, that would be in the last session, we can take those. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajesh. Well, indeed, I was thinking that digital equity is very important. And surprisingly, if you think about Google Corporation, if you think about Yandex, Russian, well, not always Russian now, corporation, and our local SKB Contour, they're all investing in not only digital transformation, but also into their programs for education, for inclusivity, and also a lot of social programs aimed on bringing their talents and developing values for students. And that is why they are slightly moving, because, well, there is a reality and there is a research. Research shows that those students who have sustainability principles integrated into their study programs are working towards digital equality and equity, a more equity. So they take it as a principle number one to be integrated in their future career. That is why I would like to move on to another country and another speaker. Dear Professor Liu, dear Kanjuan, I would like to address this question to you, to Shanghai. So in your perspective, maybe share how you work with this and how ESG and digital transformation affects large businesses and universities and business schools cooperation. The floor is yours. Does it create new ecosystems, maybe? I'm afraid we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Dear Dana, old friends and new friends, hello. This is Kang Juanli from Shanghai University, China. Actually, I think this is my third or fourth time to attend this conference. It's my great honor to be invited by you in these years. And I can see this conference had been upgraded and improved during these years. I still remember 3 or 4 years ago, our topic is also related to like digital transformation and AI. So during these years, there do some things happened, changed, and we are on this process. Take my school as an example. Silk Business School was AACSB accredited. Just 2 weeks ago, we received the re-accreditation on-site visit, and As your dean had mentioned, some rankings about business school. Actually, Silk joined the Ed Universal rankings 2 years ago. We are in Palm 2, I remember, like 3 stars like that. In terms of AI and ESG, I think in China, especially in Shanghai, we have very good infrastructure. And also we noticed that for the whole world, for the whole university, we dive into the impact of digital transformation and ESG principles. We found these forces are reshaping both business and education in many ways, especially with the transforms business. I think business education, we should creating an entirely new ecosystem. And the AI and ESG redefining what it means to be a responsible or a good business school. Digital transform in large business school and universities in China, I think is not just about adopting the latest technologies. It's also about changing our thinking ways, how to operate, the operational tools, and also how to reshape our strategy. So in my school, we try to use different kinds of digital tools such as AI, data analytics, cloud computing, etc., for teaching and for research. I think two ways can be described the transformations in China in my school. For business school, we use AI in business education, and AI, we use it for business education. So from AI in business education, in my school, our practice is, integrated AI into our curriculum. So we've developed AI plus courses to create a learning experience that truly meets the needs of each student. Our business curriculum actively integrates AI concepts throughout multiple courses, teaching students how data analytics, machine learning, and automation plays an important role in business decision making. And AI for business education. That it means we use AI tools empower our research projects, empower our teaching, and empower the teaching research, empowering like the pedagogy research. So introducing AI tools to teaching and research. For example, in my class, human resources management class, we use AI to interview the students. And students, they usually had some partnership on real world practices. They use AI tools to analyze data, to extract valuable insights. Through these AI plus courses and AI tools, the students can discover how AI can streamline operations, drive strategic choices, and spur innovations. And we also noticed that for ESG is also reshaping the business education, like the new standards of AACSB. They add a new standard. Standard 9 is similar to ESG. That's the social responsibility, and also the business school should align with to achieve some SDG goals. So we think for business school today, we must embrace ESG principles. It's more than just a strategy. It is a commitment to creating real lasting values to educate the businessman. So at my school, we constantly involving to provide students with ESG values. They need to strive in rapidly changing global world or digital transformation. In my school, we increased the recognition, the importance of environmental, social, and governance factors. We have embedded ESG topics and courses across our schools, across our curriculum, ensuring that the students gain the skills and knowledge needed to champion sustainable and ethical business practices. For example, we have the course named CSR. We develop new courses such as sustainable development of entrepreneur, professional accounting, business ethics in finance, in accounting, and also in reality, most of Chinese companies, they do ESG ranking. So for the students, not only in the school, but also in the society, they know ESG is very important, we call it values. And in terms of research, our school also developed the joint PhD programs with the University of Technology, Sydney. We focus on the low carbon economics, green management, and sustainable development. This program advances research in sustainability and also addresses some of the most pressing global challenges we are facing today. So for school, we promote the research in clean energy, new energy, or the utilization of different digital tools in different sectors. For example, in construction industry, we use BIM, building information modeling, and the school, our campus is also a low carbon campus. In many faculties, they published the papers, the topics related to sustainability. And in recent years, many students, they try to join the professors' research group and to write related topics, to write the publications. And like myself, with my team, we also hosted over 70 seminars on ESG related topics. And all of these are embedded in our research and contribute to reshaping the future of sustainable business. Yeah, also for our alumni, all the alumni, their values, I think, was embedded with ESG when they're in campus. So when they go into the society, when they start their business, they still keep this. Like one of my alumni 2 years ago, he was nominated as the Global Influential Leadership of ASSB Spotlight Programs because he is the founder and CEO of his company related to environmental protection technology. And he also developed the environment very friendly technology that transforms classrooms walls into readable surfaces, reducing costs and promoting sustainable in education. I donate 2 classrooms to my school, and also he helped renovate over 500 schools in underdeveloped regions, improving education access for over about 100,000 students. So I think now the transformations of AI and ESG is happening in China, in Shanghai, not only in the enterprises, in company, but also in campus, especially for business school. We should take this responsibility to do it, to reshape our businessmen, especially through AI, along with ESG principles, reshaping the powerful ways of the business leadership. So at my school, we try to integrate AI and ESG from 2 ways, that is in education and for education. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Kanjuan. Well, and I'm very pleased to note that we have absolutely the same education and business values, and it's an amazing example on influential, valued graduates which are transferring from education towards business environment and co-creating this very important understanding on how to work, how to bring up better education practices, and how to use their qualities that they developed. So, in fact, well, we are still thinking what could bring students to study AR or virtual reality or different gamification, but only through working with values could probably motivate students to join university and to stay in the same area after they graduate. But it's interesting that although we observe in China, in India, in Russia, in other countries, we observe a lot of graduates who share the same values and bring it up to labor market. Still, academic understanding of impact and business understanding of impact still differ. I guess for business, it's more about innovation diffusion, product and service commercialization, workforce development, strategy deployment, and maybe technological advancement. But for us academics, and this is how we are trying to walk the talk, it's more about creating dissemination of knowledge and then applying this knowledge in a real sector economy. So this is our probably issue. And I would like to travel back to India, but online with this question. And I would like to invite Honorary Vice Chancellor of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, Dr. Rakesh Monyoshi. How you think we should prepare managers for changing this different global business environment? And should we? The floor is yours. I'm afraid we can't hear you. You're muted.
Namaskar, and thank you so much for inviting me for this August forum and extremely important, seminar that you have, conference that you have organized. And thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me. And, as the topic of the seminar that has been, the conference topic that you have done on the AI and, the issues covered by the highly learned speakers are extremely inspiring. So thank you so much. When it comes to AI, and when you come to the India, basically the topic I've been given is that how to prepare the managers for changing global business environment. India. I'm so happy that, as you are aware, that India is a trusted friend of Russia, and despite of the pressure from the entire world that India continued to buy the petroleum, and because we buy 85% of the petroleum, and and therefore the what has happened is, I think, the prices of the petroleum across the world has been made in control. Otherwise the entire Europe, especially the Western Europe, could have been frozen had the prices have gone up. So because India bought petroleum from Russia, and we are great friends. What is very important is that things have come is the AI. AI is getting very, very important. AI is a tool to promote our the promote the entire education system. And when you talk of the global business skills that that the the students need to know, and how to prepare the managers, it comes to AI. I think India is just amazing. India, in terms of in terms of the size, we are only one fifth of Russia. Russia is very big, but when it comes to population, India is 10 times bigger than Russia. And when you come to the intellectuals, spatially it comes to India is amazing. We have got a system called what we call as a digital, uh, digital public infrastructure, which is the largest on the earth. India has got, with the digital public infrastructure, the database of about 1.3, 1.35 billion people, the largest public database available elsewhere on the earth. with this digital public database, despite of, what my, good friend, Dr. Rajesh talked about, that, the India's, the internet, penetration and the income and all that, India has absolutely leapfrogged that. India is probably the one country which has shown in digital innovation. It is not the innovation, it is how you use digital. Say online, this system was earlier also available, but as you are aware that the pandemic, COVID changed the entire thing and it became acceptable, for the board meetings, for the meetings, for the conferences. And how India has changed it, let me tell you, every Indian is connected with their, the country identification, their mobile phone, and mobile may not be a very high-end mobile phone, plus the payment system, the banking system. India has given, when we talk of the, the digital transformation of the whole world, wherein, the scanning the code and making the payment. Scanning the code, I think it was, innovative strategy that the India adopted. And when you talk of the, the AI and the online education, India is absolutely massive. Let me tell you one thing, that I come from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. When you see the, Financial Times ranking and number of global business ranking, you will find many institutes coming, above us. But if you see the LinkedIn ranking, which is very empirical kind of a ranking, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, my institute, ranked number one in the whole world. Among the business school, we rank on the LinkedIn ranking as 51st business school. We are also ACSB acted. We are also going for, MBA actation. And I think, Dr. Dimitri talks in the beginning about the ranking and, the standards and the Russian standard and the American standards. You may have different views for standard, because we are also going for the standard. We are all, I think we were among the first, in the country, among the first 3-4 institute which got the ACSB ranking. More than, these rankings, what I wish is for internationalization of the higher education. The Western, the developed countries, the Western countries also need to have, some sort of, recognition, mutual recognition of, actation. I was so impressed to see your presentation in the beginning while you are talking of, the Russian actation standard. Now we go for, say, EMBA ranking, we go for EFMD ranking, and the third one we go for ACSB ranking. There has to be, some point wherein the acquisition we do, maybe in Russia or India, need to be recognized by countries in America and the Europe, which is not being done at that. When you talk about internationalize of education, I can tell you, very important thing, that under the WTO agreement of the GATS, this is the General Agreement of Trade in Services. There are four, areas, four modes of trade. Number one is the cross-border supply. Now, cross-border supply comes is what you talk of a e-learning and distance education. When you talk of the distance education or the cross-border education, students pick up the courses of the business schools which are very popular. And when you look into the business school, these are mostly the American business schools which are popular, and these are some of the European business schools are popular, and therefore they gain. So e-learning, the technology is available to all of us. It is available in Russia, it is available in India, it is available in China. But who gains more? I think it requires introspection. Second thing was the consumption abroad, that the students going from country A to country B. When you talk of the destination country, these are again the United States of America and Europe, and not other countries. Lot of people from, students from China, Asia, India, they go to America and Europe, but the reverse tariff is less. But anyway, incidentally, Russia is among, the top 5 countries wherein the Indian students go, and presently, I think 25,000 Indian students go to Russia primarily for, engineering, medical, but not much for management. So this is one. What is very important, especially in, the AI enabled, the linguistic barrier can be broken. Say you speak in Russia, you take a class in Russia, you have a note in Russia, AI has got a capability that is broken. And I think the implementation of the AI gives a great opportunity to countries like Russia, India, China, Japan, to enter into those international market, and we need to use this technology. Now, incidentally, my institute, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, IFT, we have introduced a program, MBA in Business Analytics. wherein a lot of focus is on AI, lot of focus is on data analytics. And I think these students are extremely in demand across the world. Okay. Now the third was what we call as the GETS I was talking of, the General Agreement in Trade and Services. Mode 3 is the commercial presence. Now, commercial presence is setting campuses in any other country. Now, I think we are having a great speaker, Soumya Askari. I was looking at it. She teaches in Dubai. Now, she teaches in Dubai. It's a campus for Canadian. I know she should be an Indian. So I think you see in a speaker of 8, 3 are Indians. It works out to 37%. So forget about the data penetration. Intellectually, in case you need CEO for Google or Microsoft, he has to be primarily educated in India before he goes to America. America has no capacity to produce the CEOs. Another thing, if you have got to dean for Harvard Business School, primary education need to be in India. Please check it up. The second thing is the commercial presence is the three things. The countries like America and most countries in Britain, they want commercial presence in developing countries like India, Russia, China. But when our institutes go to their own countries, say America and Europe, there are a number of barriers. That I think in case we discussed what you have talked about, the internationalization of the education, we need to discuss. Dubai is amazing. Dubai is just amazing because they have created an environment wherein the people from across the world comes, they study and they go. Incidentally, we are also opening a campus in Dubai, going to start in January itself. And fourth thing is, I think, most important, mode 4, the movement of the natural person. The students coming and going, not a student, it is basically the faculty coming and going, from country A to country B. Now, if you look into America and Europe, they want commercial presence in Russia, India, and China. But when we go to open a shop there, you cannot. The barrier, what in the trade term we call is a non-tariff barrier. Now, in education trade, I think I work a lot on higher education international trade. In education trade, they say your degree is not valid, your post-graduation is not valid, your language is not valid, your accreditation is not valid, everything you have to take now. And this prevents the management institute and the higher education institute moving from what they call as a low income countries or less developed countries to countries like America. So I think I'm not if you look into that. And another thing that I think we need to understand is, because now the students we are teaching, we need to make them capable of working across the country. We need to tell them the multicultural skills, multi-country operating skills, because now the students are not limited within the within the country. They need to travel abroad, so they need to and work with the multinational firms within their own countries. So this thing, I think, we need to inculcate. In India, incidentally, I was chairman of the committee, what we call as a UGC, University Grants Commission for Global Citizenship Education, wherein we have introduced a compulsory course wherein the students across all higher educational institutes, right from the college education to the university, they need to go compulsory higher educational courses, and all our courses across the country are directed to train those students working on cross-country skills. Incidentally, we are the institute, IIFT. We work on international trade. Our students are, from day one, taught on the international managerial skills. You talk of international human resource management. You talk of international operations. You talk of international marketing. You talk of anything international economics. So they need to be sensitized on what is happening in other parts of the world and how they can operate into, because close we are working in a turbulent environment like never before.
Thank you
Earlier,
very much, dear Dr.
so
Yoshi.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, applause for
Thank
you.
you, madam.
Key takeaways from your presentation. First of all, I think everyone in the room would like to visit IIFT. Well, thank you for invitation. Dr. Soumya Askari is invited. We all could hear that to India. And of course, yes, we are also preparing traineeship for our students, and we welcome your students as last year and this year, and our students are going for traineeship and for winter school to India. And this is how all the skills, the cross-country skills, cross-cultural skills, digital skills are being trained. And we also invite our business partners to sum up and add up to this program. And of course, since Dr. Sumaya Skri was already mentioned a couple of times, and we are neighboring there, it's basically 5 hours flights from here, from Yekaterinburg to Dubai, and 5.5 to Delhi from here. Well, we have recently signed this agreement, and we are very happy with Canadian University in Dubai. And we are also happy that we are sharing the same association of responsible business schools, PRIME, which stands for Principles of Responsible Management Education by UN. And it's another link because tonight we are having the first in Russia workshop for I5 Prime. And that is why I address, to continue the topic, I also address this question to you, Dr. Sumaya, from your perspective, how is the role of business schools in preparing managers changing? Well, in Dubai, they're center in the world right now. At least for us Russians, we use it as a big hub. So it's not only there. The floor is yours.
Okay. Dear esteemed colleague, thank you for the kind invitation. It is really a privilege to join this distinguished panel discussion, and I'm truly honored to be here with all of you, contributing to our shared vision for advancing education and innovation. Could you please, Dr. Zahana, share my slide? I will respect the 10 minutes. I will do my best for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, even 8 would be fantastic. We are running a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Dear colleagues, please show the presentation. It will come up in a second.
Okay, so in today's fast evolving global landscape, this is exactly what the majority of the speakers today explain, where environmental, technological, and societal shifts are really transforming every industry. The business school must adapt to prepare leaders for a complex, specifically AI-driven. So this rapid pace of change calls for more than workforce preparation. It requires cultivating forward-thinking leaders who can navigate digital transformation, drive sustainable development, and respond to global challenges with resilience and responsibility. And that's why also I'm so happy about the MOE, because really we are sharing the same value than you. Next slide, please. So at Canadian University of Dubai, we are committed to this mission by embedding sustainability, technological proficiency, and inclusive leadership into our curriculum. CUD equips students to navigate and excel in modern business environment through our focus on sustainable practice, digital literacy, and diverse leadership initiatives. CUD ensures that graduates are not only prepared for contemporary challenges, but also positioned to make positive impact in a globalized society. Next slide, please. So at Canadian University Dubai, our commitment to prepare future business leader goes hand in hand with nurturing the essential skills identified as critical in today's global business landscape. CUD's approach enables students to cultivate the competencies most demanded by employer. And also I join one of the keynote speakers who mentioned that we need to have this collaboration, not necessarily after when the student they will be graduated, but we need really to involve them in the preparation of the program themselves. So here's how we foster these skills, these key skills. So first, when it comes to the analytical thinking and innovation through our data-driven courses and case studies, we empower students to make informed decision, approach challenges analytically, and specifically drive innovation in their fields. Active active learning and a learning strategy. So CUD emphasizes a lifelong learning technique, integrating hands-on experience. We are using simulation. We are really trying and empowering that, and specifically the real world project. We are inviting corporate, we are inviting industry to manage with our students, to help them understand and to manage with the real case study with the real problem. Complex problem solving. So we prioritize this experiential learning along the student to tackle complex multidisciplinary and ensure that they will be able to enhance their capabilities. Critical thinking and analysis. Also the creativity and originality and the initiative. I'm, by the way, defending the use of AI, and for me, no one will be able to refuse. So we are able to use AI to generate or to structure our idea, but when it comes to the creativity and the originality, our duty as educator is to support specifically the out-of-box thinking and to encourage the student to develop their idea and specifically the original idea. Leadership and social influence. So we are nurturing the inclusive and empathic leadership. Technology use, monitoring, control. So we are staying at the forefront of digital advancement. We are preparing students to use this technology. We are explaining to them the ethic in each syllabus. We are highlighting that in the beginning of the semester. We are explaining the importance of the technology use and the AI use, but we are also highlighting all the issue linked to it: ethics side, ownership, data propriety, data protection. So we have also trying to enhance the technology design and programming, and we are 100% sure working on the resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. So in this way, CUD approach to education directly cultivate the skill needed for the student to thrive in this involved work. So how we are managing? Next slide, please. So we are using a disruptive teaching innovation. First, we are embracing the technology. We are, as explained previously, using simulation, using gamification, because the student, they will learn more when they are happy and when they are really engaged in the course. We are encouraging the extracurricular activity. So we had a competition, hackathon. Just to highlight, 2 days ago, we invited one of the most prestigious agency in the UAE and Dubai, and one group of our students received an internship opportunity. Okay, we are engaging with corporate. We are using the interactive case study. We are applying a real applied problem. Sustainability for us is not a trend. This is one of our pillar. Okay, and sustainability also it's incorporated in our curricula, in our syllabi, and also we are fostering, encouraging any international collaboration. So I think by using this disruptive teaching innovation, okay, we are able to enhance the skills. We are not only working on hard skills, but we are also empowering the soft skills, recognizing the transformative power of AI. CUD is committed to equipping this student with the practical AI skills to drive meaningfully innovation across industry, but at the same time, we are emphasizing the ethical consideration and the responsibility that come with the AI use. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sumal. This applause is for you.
Thank you.
And, next time let's organize hackathon and case championship together.
Yes, I will be happy.
Yeah, we are just having our autumn school these days on sustainable business development, and we cordially invite all their business schools to join next year. And by the way, next year we will have 20th Jubileum Conference, Russian regions in the focus of change. So we expect everyone to join and in persons, dear online colleagues. So, well, and you know, dear colleagues, I haven't introduced one distinguished guest, our speaker and good friend, and I'm very pleased to do it right now. We also have Larisa Bogdanova, who is president of Association of Recruiting Agencies of Russia. So basically, this is an expert who knows everything about labor markets in Russia and beyond. That is why we invite, and we are hoping, Larissa, you will shed the light on what is happening in Russia and beyond, and what skills are really needed in reality and how that affects our local labor market. The floor is yours.
Hello, and it's amazing to be with you today and talk about artificial intelligence and technologies, jobs and labor markets. So what do you want? I'm sure and I know that everybody of us wants to be successful and happy. And one of the ingredients, important ingredients of happiness is job. So let's talk about jobs and labor market. And you can see on my slide a picture that was generated by artificial intelligence. That's why I'm so young and beautiful. And also on the slide, you can see a QR code. You can scan it and sign to our channel in Telegram. And this channel is in Russian. There we post actual and hot news about labor market. It's in Russian, but artificial intelligence helps us, and you can translate it in English or in any other language. So next slide, please. The global talent shortage, particularly in skilled labor, is becoming an increasingly pressing issue for companies and economies worldwide. Forecasts and recent data reveal a severe worker shortage across various industries. And here are some key numbers that you can see that highlight the global workforce gap. So firstly, I would like to point out that shortage of skilled workers worldwide is 85 million people. It's according to a report by consulting firm Korn & Ferry. Also, we have a great shortage in technology, in people in technology. And research indicates that by 2025, the IT industry may face a shortage of about 4 million specialists worldwide. Number 3, shortage of healthcare workers. You know that the world is aging and people become less healthy, so we'll need by 2030 approximately 15 million doctors and nurses. Please, next slide. So the shortage is everywhere in all businesses, in all industries, and we see it in banking and finance, healthcare and manufacturing. And for example, in manufacturing, it's the figure about the USA. The shortage is 2 million people, and it's good news for us. I would like to say to everybody today that you will work forever until your death, and your salary will be increasing every year. And you see that global teacher shortage by 2030 will be 69 million new teachers and specialists. So the situation in various countries is different. Please show the next slide. And here we can see that the workforce shortage worldwide is different. For example, by 2030 in the USA, it will be 6 million people, in Europe 2 million, and in Russia at the moment we have shortage of 2 million, it will be 4 million people. So everybody will work, and you see that even school children go for a walk already and have businesses. So next slide, please. The global talent shortage is a complex problem that requires a comprehensive approach. To improve the situation, we need to invest in education, retrain workers, and implement automation. So in the coming years, from 2025 to 2030, we see that the most promising fields and professions are, so the first, artificial intelligence and machine learning specialists, because they develop algorithms, automate processes, work with big data, and create all AI-driven products. So all industries from healthcare to finance will be in demand for experts who can create and implement AI solutions. So number two, data analysts and data scientists, also very important. And the reason for growth is because businesses and science rely more on data, which helps optimize processes, understand consumer behavior, and forecast trends. And also you can see number 9, online education, instructors and mentors will be in demand. So it's a good way of career track. Let's go to another slide. And I think this slide will be very important for students and graduates, and even for those grown-ups who want to change their profession and start another career track. Building a career as a recent graduate is a vital process that requires a thoughtful approach and consistent steps. Here are some recommendations to help a young professional succeed in their careers. So gain experience through internships and volunteering. Internships offer a chance to try out a profession, experience a real work environment, and build valuable connections. Also, you should continuously develop your skills, soft skills like communication, teamwork, time management, and problem-solving skills will help you to succeed in any job. Build professional networks. So you see all the speakers here today. Please come up to them and take their business cards and make them your professional network in future. Ask them questions and ask them for internship and training. Create and develop your personal brand. You know, it's so important to have your real brand and post some comments, post pictures, and use social media and LinkedIn to do it. Number 5, learn from mentors and find a mentor. Also a good opportunity to find a mentor here. So here we have so experienced people from business and education, and they're smiling, so they're inviting to take their business cards. And I think the most important thing is keep updating your knowledge and learning new things. Courses, webinars, certifications, continuous learning keep you competitive in the job market. Of course, you should set and track your goals. Please imagine your future. Imagine future 3-5 years of your job. What will you need and what salary would you like to have? Please keep updating your knowledge and learning new things. Building a career doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires patience and effort. Each step brings you closer to professional successes. And I wish everybody here good career and success. This is all.
Thank you very much. Very useful advices. Please, everyone, take it and use it even today. Thank you very much, Larissa. And it's interesting data about shortage in workplaces. So, but yeah, I think I'm not sure if it's good news that we are going to work as long as until we die. But maybe that is what keeps us awake, wide awake. So students, congratulations, you're going to be employed anyway. So yeah, they're happy, you see. Right, well, you know, dear colleagues, we slowly came to the end of presentations, and I think that right now our little survey is ready, and still, well, all the speakers today mentioned AI importance, and all the speakers were mentioning the labor markets and how we are transforming the role of universities and business schools. So, but what actually are the answers? And I asked to bring it up. Very interesting results. You know, we have asked absolutely the same questions compared to last year's survey. And let's see what is the change from last year. So first of all, well, we have slight difference in dissemination between students, teaching faculty, and business representatives who answered the survey. And this is very amazing. That confirms that awareness and use of AI has lowered. So 90% were very aware to use AI last year, but maybe because we are realizing that it's not that simple and there are so many ways. It's only 82% who are aware, 8% no, and 10% are not sure whether we are using it right. Then, of course, the advent of AI has changed the way I teach, study, or work. Yes, there is 34% strongly agree, so at least third strongly agree and use AI. But you know what is interesting for me, that top 3 processes that can be effectively replaced by AI changed since last year, but audience is structurally the same. So, for example, for teachers, it was automated grading last year, but now it's search and general information, personal assistance, and also slide generations. Yeah, well, when I mark my students' works, I see the slides generation skills, right, automated. Top 3 dangerous areas and harms of AI in education. Very interesting. 2023 data privacy and security risks come first, but this year it's about loss of creativity and originality. So interesting. That means that actually we are thinking, when we are using actively AI, we are concerned that it actually steals our place and meaning. And then second, data privacy. And third, this is very important, over reliance on AI technology. It still can't replace, and I get back to what all the speakers mentioned today, and Saad in the beginning said that it's human-centered approach. And of course, students and professors would like to know how to avoid these risks to misuse AI in their teaching. And here, well, I would bring your attention about social divide in education. It's, well, yes, it does bring social divide in education, the use of AI. So we've mentioned the digital inequality before. And of course, it's interesting to see that most of people, 39%, not sure that AI is lowering the education quality. But obviously, the pedagogy methods change. And the final question, would you allow AI to develop education programs? Basically, some universities are already doing this. So AI is planning curriculum, dear students, your curriculums. And it's 38, probably yes, 32, why not? So we are ready in this term technically be replaced by AI. So it's quite interesting. So this is what we can see, that the change is happening, and maybe this is because of our literacy in what AI can do, and our slight change from weak AI, which can only be assistant, towards strong AI. And of course, to meet the diverse needs of students, businesses, professors, and labor markets across different stages of life, we need to adapt not only curriculum, but also ourselves and methods to enroll students, to provide business opportunities, and also to employ. And it's interesting, we all will have job until we die, but what type of job? And I think maybe that depends on us, what type of, who will serve whom. And AI might be walking the talk, while us human have two-side market and schools making it in adopted proper way. And you know, there is one of my favorite citations, which I want to say to close this session, that culture is strategy for breakfast, but until technology comes in. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our distinguished speakers from online. Well, yeah. And we're
Thank you.
closing
Thank
the
you. So
session.
nice to be with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We keep in touch. And now, dear colleagues, we have the break and the next session. Next time, on site.